Subscribe to this YouTube channel and please enjoy watching this video. Here we go. Russian and Belarusian athletes who have qualified for the Paris 2024 Olympics will be allowed to participate as neutrals, the International Olympic Committee has confirmed. The conditions of their inclusion include competing without flags, emblems, or anthems of their country. Athletes from those nations were banned following Russia's invasion of Ukraine in February 2022. Letting individuals take part was about respecting human rights, the IOC said. Ukraine had threatened to boycott the Games if the ban was not upheld, but Ukraine's sports minister Vadim Hutsait told Reuters in July it could drop that threat if Russian and Belarusian athletes were made to compete under a neutral flag. Paris 2024 organizers said they were taking note of the IOC's decision and reiterated that qualification for the Games falls under the responsibility of the IOC and the international federations. Paris 2024's responsibility is to host athletes who have qualified for the Games under the best possible conditions, regardless of their nationality, organizers said. The IOC's decision comes after Olympic sports federations asked for Russian and Belarusian athletes to be allowed to compete as neutrals in Paris earlier this week. The executive board of the IOC has decided that individual neutral athletes, AINs, who have qualified through the existing qualification systems of the international federations on the field of play will be declared eligible to compete at the Olympic Games Paris 2024 in accordance with the conditions outlined, the Olympic body said on Friday. AINs are athletes with a Russian or Belarusian passport. The strict eligibility conditions, based on the recommendations issued by the IOC Executive Board on March 28, 2023, for international federations and international sports event organizers, will be applied. However, World Athletics said its position remains unchanged, with athletes, support personnel and officials from Russia and Belarus remaining excluded from all World Athletics Series events. We will continue to monitor the situation, but unless there is a major change in circumstances between now and the Olympic Games, this exclusion will apply to Paris 2024, World Athletics said. Strict eligibility conditions. The IOC outlined 6 strict eligibility conditions for AINs at Paris 2024, reflecting the same conditions under which they have qualified. It said among the 4,600 athletes who have so far qualified for the Games, only 11 were AINs, 8 with a Russian passport, 3 with a Belarusian passport. The conditions for their participation are as follows. Qualified athletes with a Russian or Belarusian passport will be entered as, and compete as AINs. Teams of athletes with a Russian or Belarusian passport will not be considered. Athletes and support personnel who actively support the war will not be eligible to be entered or to compete. Athletes and support personnel contracted to the Russian or Belarusian military or national security agencies will not be eligible to be entered or to compete. Any AIN, like all other participating athletes, must meet all anti-doping requirements. The sanctions against the Russian and Belarusian states and governments remain in place, including no flag, anthem, colors or any other identifications of Russia or Belarus will be displayed in any official venue or function at Paris 2024, and no Russian or Belarusian government or state officials will be invited or accredited. The IOC recommended to sports federations in March that only individual athletes from Russia and Belarus should be allowed to compete, not teams representing those nations. It also said athletes and support personnel who actively support the war in Ukraine must remain excluded. The protection of the rights of individual athletes to participate in competitions despite the suspension of their National Olympic Committee is a well-established practice, respecting human rights, the IOC said. Sports federations had called for the IOC to reach a decision to bring clarity to Olympic qualifying events. The Olympic body was criticized earlier this year for saying it was exploring a pathway for Russian and Belarusians to compete at Paris 2024, with the United Kingdom among more than 30 countries to pledge support for an ongoing ban at the time. The Russian Olympic Committee was suspended by the IOC with immediate effect until further notice in October after it recognized regional organizations from 4 Ukrainian territories illegally annexed by Russia. Among its considerations in reaching the decision, the IOC said an overwhelming majority of athletes did not want to punish fellow athletes for the actions of their government. It also reaffirmed its commitment to supporting Ukrainian athletes in every way possible, in order to see a strong team from the National Olympic Committee of Ukraine at the Olympic Games Paris 2024. The Paris Olympics take place from July 26 to August 11, 2024. Let us know what you think about the entire thing in the comments section below. Additionally, stay tuned and subscribe to this YouTube channel for the latest news and updates from around the world. We sign out.